Okay, we're back. Now what we're going to do is set up the triple R. Now to do this, I'm going to select the entire triple R group here, move it closer to the airfield. Then I'm going to place the landing fires where I want players to land at. And then with that set up, now I want to set up the triple R locations. So I'm going to select the triple R group, right click, set as working group. And then again, we have these check zones. So I'm going to position the check zones kind of in the center of the airfield. And then for my triple R, I'm going to place it somewhere where I think players would drive to or taxi to get repairs. And this is where the yellow smoke will show up. Now for this particular airfield, it's kind of small. I have two triple Rs if I want. But this airfield's kind of small, so I'm just going to do one triple R. So for the second triple R, I'm just going to select it and hit the delete key to remove it. And now I have one triple R and our landing fire set up. Then I'm going to go back to our allied unprotected airfield group, set that as working group, and you can see now our triple R set up. And now I want to set up some of the scenery objects. So I'm going to grab our sceneries group, bring it closer, right click, set as working group. And by default, I've selected all these entities to be destroyed. So if we look closely, you can see they're all destroyed. So what we're going to do is we're going to select them all and we're going to say delete. Right here, delete all. And what that does is it just removes the destroyed visuals for the group. And since this is a allied objective, I think I'm going to get rid of the RAF planes and only have allied planes here. And then what I'm going to do is just grab one of these entities or a couple of these entities, and they're named already. So like I'm going to grab the P51. I'm going to do Control C to copy and then Control V to paste them where I want them to be. And then I just have to go through the entire airfield and set up all these entities so that it looks appropriate. And by the way, I'm rotating the entity by holding down Control and left click and dragging. And I'm Control V to paste a new P51 Mustang into these little nets. And then maybe I'll grab some box trucks and I'll do the same thing for that as well. And of course, the more entities you add, the cooler your airfields are going to look and the more appreciative your players are going to be of your missions. And again, maybe I'll go in here and I'll also add some more of those ammo boxes to make it look like, they're working on things and so on. Now, again, these are unlinked entities. So let's move these out of the way. These are unlinked entities, so they don't take up too much performance of our server. So it's fine to add a ton of them to your airfield, so make them look really, really cool. The last thing we need to do is select these scenery objects and make sure they're set to the right country code. So you can see here, country code, I have them selected, and we're gonna change it to United States. And then once we have it set, we'll hit save, and then our extra ones, we'll just delete them, and then they will be gone from the game. All right. Now we have our scenery object set. We'll go back to our allied airfield unprotected group, set as working, and you can see now we have planes at our airfield, we have our landing fires, and we have our triple R. We have our allied airfield. The last thing we need to do is set up our triple A and the flare warning siren. And we'll do that when we come back.